Welcome to the Music Journal Podcast, where we talk about the hottest things happening in music right now, and also how you can apply it if you're an aspiring producer or musician yourself. I'm your host, Wes Yee. I'm a producer, artist, and educator, and I'm stoked to be chatting with you. Let's make history. All right, welcome to another episode of the Music Journal Podcast. This is pretty awkward because in the last episode, I made it a solo episode and I told you a story about how a cop smashed into my car earlier this year. And I went to go edit the interview that I had lined up for today, but my dumbass accidentally deleted my vocal file, the audio file, while I was cleaning my computer a couple days ago. So I only have half the interview and it's the guest's interview portion. Luckily, he is super cool and he's down to redo it, so we're doing it Wednesday. But today's going to be another solo episode. That being said, I'm definitely trying to make an episode and provide some value, and I kind of want to make it on the theme of what kind of happened, because at the end of the day, you know, we're only human beings and we all make mistakes and we fuck up, and unfortunately sometimes it's at the expense of somebody else. In this case, you guys, because you guys miss out on this awesome interview that I did with this person who you're going to find out who he is eventually. But I guess the main point I want to get across in this episode is that shit happens and you got to kind of be okay with it because it's all part of the journey. So we're on episode 30, early 30s. You know, this is just the very beginning. This is like the first chapter of a long podcast journey. And you're going to end up with stumbles. And I did want to share a story. I wanted to make this episode kind of quicker than some of my previous solo episodes. I don't want to make it too like rambly and not trying to get all like cheesy and self-helpy or whatever. But I do want to share this story with you. So years ago, must have been three, maybe 4 years ago now, I owned a company. I co-owned a company. We did jingles for the radio. I partnered up with a sales guy, and we were doing jingles for the radio. We did a lot of local and regional spots that actually still air to this day, which is pretty cool. But this was me right out of college, so I had no experience with sales or anything. I didn't really know how business worked or making money or exchange in value or anything like that. Any of the stuff that I'm teaching you on this podcast, chances are I didn't know. All I really knew was, how to make music. So I partnered up with this sales guy and I learned a lot from working with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but this guy was not a good dude. He'd been to jail. He was a recovered heroin addict. But he was also the best salesperson on the East Coast, he claims, in the country. But regardless, we were killing it at a point. We were selling jingles left and right every single week. We were doing really good with our business, and we got the opportunity to do a really large scale national deal. Also going to leave that company's name out of this talk, but we got the opportunity to present this jingle project. We spent 3 months on it, went down to New York to present it to this guy, and we presented to him. He loved it. We go to this guy's like multi-million-dollar estate. He's connected with, he endorses 50 Cent, Timbaland. He's worked with Derek Jeter. He was one of the founders of Tempur-Pedic. Long story short, I don't want to go into too much detail about what actually happened, but he loved the product. We didn't necessarily agree on a price. My partner kind of strong-armed him a little bit. We didn't see eye to eye on some terms and agreements and stuff like that. So long story short, even though he loved the product, he showed my work to 50 Cent, to Timbaland. They all loved it. It got the okay from them. Deal didn't end up going through, and my partner got discouraged and called it quits on our whole business. And at the time, that was really devastating because that was going to be, it was going to be more money than I'd ever seen before in my entire life, just coming to me, let alone our business, let alone to him. Because once you start operating on the national scale is where things really start to get really big. So it long story short, it didn't go through, and my business partner called it quits, which means I didn't have a company anymore at the time, and I was just kind of this kid who just knew stuff from going to school, but then knew a lot more stuff from having worked with this dude, and had a long way to go in terms of developing my skills. So at the time, it was a pretty devastating catastrophe because I had all these dreams and visions of being this big shot jingle business owner and doing all this cool stuff. And then to add insult to injury, my ex-partner cleared our conjoined bank account without telling me, took my 50% of what was in there, and I never heard from him again. We've had a couple conversations actually. They weren't so cordial. It was mostly me trying to nicely ask for my cut and him basically telling me to fuck off. So that's the story behind that. And the reason why I'm sharing that story with you is because I actually recently reached out to that business partner because I've been working with some other really big players recently. I can't say too much about the deals that we're working on right now, but we're talking 7-8 figure deals. And having that happen with that jingle guy was just a roadblock in the whole journey, similar to how this is just a roadblock in my whole journey as a podcaster. So, where the fuck was I going with this? I hit up my ex-business partner to try to get the contact information to that guy because I wanted to do business with him in another way with another business partner of mine that I have right now. We wanted to do a really big deal with him and someone he's connected with. And my ex-business partner got paranoid, and he said that I was trying to sell the jingle behind his back or whatever, and I was just going to keep all the money, and he wouldn't give me the email address. So I literally just guessed email addresses. I typed in like the guy's first name at the website.com, didn't work. The guy's first name at whatever, info@whatever.com. By some stroke of luck, some miracle, I actually got the guy's email address, and we're jumping on a call tomorrow. If you're listening to this, it's probably already happened. So my point is, the path to success and the path to, I guess, any goal that you want to achieve is rarely linear. It's rarely just a straight line. It's almost always a path that involves forks in the roads and different twists and turns, and one thing leads to another, and then the last thing you ever expect happens. And it kind of makes all the bullshit that you dealt with in the past worth it. So hope you guys got something out of this episode. I'm going to go back to interviews next week. I promise. I got a couple lined up this week, so I'll have one for sure. This is usually where I showcase somebody else's song as well, a fan submission via email. And I didn't want to showcase one that I got via email for this particular episode, since it is so kind of self-focused. I really want to give people the opportunity to showcase their music next to somebody who I'm interviewing, who has a brand that's bigger than my own, who has a reputation that's bigger than my own, and somebody who just has more of a name, so that way they can kind of get that association. I think it works better for the person that I'm showcasing. So for this episode, I'm actually going to showcase one of my own songs that I'm releasing on December 21st. It's called Found Us, and I have 2 features on it, but I'm going to showcase a snippet of my verse, I think, because you're listening to the show, so you're obviously some sort of music producer, artist, entrepreneur, whatever. I think in addition to kind of showing other people's work and the talent that is being sent to me by people listening, I think it's important for people to kind of practice what they preach when they do things like that. So instead of me just showing you other people's work, I want to show that I can go and actually make music too. Like I made this beat, I played all the instruments on it, I'm showing you my verse. You're hearing my lyrics. You're hearing my vocals. I wrote it. So I kind of wanted to show you that, I'm in the trenches with you guys, working on growing my own personal brand, even though I've done some other cool things and I've had some amazing opportunities business-wise with other things music related. I'm still kind of there with you, building my own personal music and doing all this stuff. But by working with all of these kind of more top-level players in the game, I learn a lot that I get to share with you on the show. So anyways, that's a rant and a half. That's going to be the episode. I'm going to play you out with a snippet of my song. It releases December 21st. It's called Found Us. Hope you enjoy it. Look out for it. Peace. I ain't really about a 9 to 5, slaving away from 9 to 9, trying to get mine. You will witness my come up with stumbles, but my persistence disgusting. I make the beats and I mix and master it, play all the instruments, rap and shit. So solo that maybe my thoughts are augmented. This is what I do, so what I do is authentic. If you wanna come and see me, you can tell to my filmer and my tracks got more clap than dirty chicks on Tinder. I'ma take a few bars, start turning off the filter. I never made a song that's on an EP just to fill out. I'm like Will Smith, bitch, I'm legendary. Eat these MC shit and tell us scary. Never worry, speakers playing, winning fairly. Can't handle the truth, I suggest you dare me. People say my priorities are off, like I lend you a hand when you needed it, like you ain't needed. So that's a snippet of my song. It's called Found Us. It comes out December 21st. It has 2 features on it. The goal of it is to be your 2019 pump-up song to tackle all your goals, get your New Year's resolutions actually done, and I hope it works out. And kind of goes with the theme of this episode too, where if you're not going out there and failing and getting rejected, I've been fucking rejected by so many fucking things, more things than I can even count. And with that comes successes. If you're not going out there and doing it, I highly suggest you do. There's a great Wayne Gretzky quote. He says, "You miss 100% of shots you don't take." So go out there, fucking shoot your shot, and that'll be it. See you next week. We're going to thank our sponsor really quick, and then we're out. Peace. Hey, we'll be back in the episode in just 2 seconds, but before that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. So for all you aspiring producers and artists out there, I can't even begin to tell you how important having a mentor was to me. I would literally not be where I am today if it wasn't for people like Mike Moss, who is a 3-time Grammy Award nominee. He got me my first credit. And Prince Charles Alexander, who's recorded Biggie and Alicia Keys. I wouldn't have been able to continue to grow and progress in my craft if it wasn't for them. So if you've been listening to the show and you heard episode 19 with Kato on the track, you know he's produced for B.O.B., Joyner Lucas, Hobson. He got token viral with his contest before anybody even knew who he was, and he totally blew up. The reason I'm telling you this is because he just opened up a mentorship program that will transition your music from being a side hustle to a career. If you want to learn the secrets from people at the top of the industry, go to bit.ly/TMJ mentor and you can try it for free. That's bit.ly/TMJ mentor. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Music Journal. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got a lot out of it. If you want to know more about me and what I do, I just put out a personal EP on Spotify. You can go to bit.ly/Wes Yee Spotify. And if you want to know more about music production, I teach an online course about it too. Just shoot an email to wes@homestudiohits.com and I'll send you an application. Just for filling out the application, I'll send you a free sample pack of sounds I use to make the instrumental you're listening to and more. All these links will be available in the show notes, so you can check them out there. And while you're there, if you feel inclined to rate this show 5 stars, that would really help me out. Other than that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks again. Peace.